Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator Blackburn, you and Chris Van Hollen are two of 100 United States senators serving this nation. Can you tell us how animated he's been about the border, say, the last 4 or 5 years when Biden and Harris were there? My research suggests that Chris Van Hollen went to the border in 2018, certainly had a lot to say about it in Trump's first term, and then basically went silent for the 4 years of Biden-Harris. Fast forward, he's in El Salvador with an El Salvadorian he wants to bring back to Maryland.
And Kellyanne, what we know is that during the Biden term, the Democrats, the administration, and those in Congress spent a lot of time trying to make illegal legal. And they've worked overtime at it. And now you hear Chris Van Hollen referring to this illegal alien as a Maryland man. We know that in 2021, his wife obtained a protective order against him. In 2022, he was stopped on I-40 here in Tennessee. He was suspected of human trafficking. Tennessee Highway Patrol contacted DHS, and they said let him go. Even though he had 8 people in the car, they all had the same address as Garcia. They said they were going for construction work from Texas to Maryland, but no luggage in the car. So there again, they are putting those that are illegally in the country before they're putting U.S. citizens. On November 5th, the American people went to the polls. They gave President Donald Trump a mandate. They said, get that border secure. That is what Republicans in the House and the Senate, working with the White House, have been doing. And it is time to stop this, putting those illegally in the country before citizens.
There's no question about it. And of course, border crossings are down 95%. It's been a remarkable turnaround. Fox News shows the photos during the Biden-Harris administration compared to just even the first 3 months of the Trump administration as evidence of exactly what you're saying, Senator. Senator, unless I'm mistaken, I believe that Senator Van Hollen voted against the Laken-Riley Act, thereby showing that he could not even distinguish illegal immigrants murdering U.S. citizens, in this case, an innocent student in Georgia, from those who come here legally. This is what I don't understand, Senator. In the first Trump term, they tried to find Abuela. They showed kids crying, put them on the cover of Time magazine. How in the world do they think a party in shambles like the Democrats that Chris Van Hollen should have this guy whose wife, as you say, has accused him of abuse, who DHS says has ties to gang members? How in the world is this guy making Garcia the face of the Democratic Party?
And it is so interesting. This is a hill they're willing to die on. But there again, they are putting those considerations and what they consider to be rights of illegal aliens before what they're doing or recognizing the rights of the American people. To not work with Patty Morin on Rachel Morin's death, to not visit with her, and then to go to El Salvador and try to bring this guy back when there's already been an order of deportation against him. And Kellyanne, bear in mind, somewhere along the way, he got a driver's license, even though he was in the country illegally. That license had expired, and when he was human trafficking, they realized he was driving on an expired license. These individuals who have come into the country illegally and are trying to assume the rights and privileges of citizenship, they have broken the law, and it is appropriate that we deport them. This person is a criminal illegal alien. He is affiliated with MS-13, which we have recognized as a foreign terrorist organization. The American people do not want these criminal illegal aliens in their communities committing crimes.
Senator Blackburn, the President of the United States agrees with you, but ironically, so does the President of El Salvador. He was in the Oval Office on Monday, basically mocking the question, he called the question preposterous from one of the mainstream media hacks, talking about, well, aren't you going to send him back to the U.S.? He said, how can I do that? I can't smuggle someone into the U.S. And it was pretty remarkable to see this display. That's a big turnaround. And also, it just seems to me that if the El Salvadorian president is telling a United States senator back off and mocking this bro show, this date that he had with Garcia, shouldn't that be the final word? I mean, don't we believe in sovereignty?
We should indeed. And the fact that El Salvador is his home country. He has been returned to El Salvador. We know what his affiliations are reported to be. We know some of the crimes that he has committed. It is appropriate. And President Trump is right on this. President Bukele is right that this guy is where he ought to be, and he ought not to be in the United States. He ought not to be affiliating with a gang. We need to get these gangs, whether it's Tren de Aragua, MS-13, we need to get them out of our country. We need to stop the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, the drug trafficking, and make certain that our communities are safe and secure. I appreciate that President Donald Trump not only wants to make America great again, he wants to make it safe again, and our communities safe, and securing that southern border and our northern border, and deporting these criminal illegal aliens, dealing with these gangs. It is an imperative. I encourage the president to keep it up, and my hope is that our Democrat colleagues will realize the American people do not agree with them. They do not want criminals here in our country.
The polls show, and the other thing that President Trump is doing is giving an audience, a platform to people like Patty Moore. And there she was holding forth with that poise and articulation in the White House briefing room, Senator Blackburn. You and I both know what it's like to have to talk publicly. She didn't want to be known. She doesn't want to be there. She's there to be an advocate for her daughter's memory and to get this country a right size. So thank God President Trump is there. Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, thank you. Happy Holy Easter to you and yours. Tonight,